Hey, welcome to the download. What'll it be? Greetings and welcome to Lowdown at the Down Low, a show where we get face to face with the talent behind the exciting audio series Heroes of Extinction. I am your host, Jason Braden, and today I am excited to be in the presence of Jacquelyn Liz. Good afternoon, Jacquelyn. How are you doing today?
I am good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about yourself and your character that you play in Heroes of Extinction, but I definitely want to start with you. What is it that you currently do right now? What is your current occupation?
I am a voice actress, and part-time I am either a lighting assistant or this is going to sound really funny. I am a cart monitor or just a personal assistant for DK Fib Studios.
What does a cart monitor do?
Basically watches their camera equipment, everything of that, make sure it doesn't get stolen, because we've heard a couple of couples who had their photographer. We've heard a couple of photographers who have photographed weddings that had their equipment stolen. So I am there to monitor that, to make sure it doesn't happen.
Awesome. Okay, so two jobs. You got the voice acting and the cart monitor for the photography. Does it keep you really busy?
Voice acting mainly keeps me busy. That kind of keeps me busy, hence why it's part-time.
So what do you, how many hours a day do you think you ever do voice acting? Is it something that you do on a daily basis? I mean, I know that a lot of people, when they get jobs, can sort of set their own hours and record at their pace based on when somebody needs their final audio files back. But how many days a week would you say that you do?
It depends on the job.
How about just an example? Like, what's the biggest job you've ever had?
Biggest job I ever had, I had to do 10,000 words, so probably about a month.
Oh, wow. Was that an audio narration or something like that, like a book?
Audio book for a person that was in the UK.
Oh, okay. In the UK. So did you read it in your voice or did you have to read it with an accent?
He wanted it in my voice, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. But have you done other accents before for things like that?
I have done British accents for commercials. I am the face or the voice for Sakura, which is a STEM lab that helps with STEM lab equipment and whatnot.
STEM lab as in stem cells?
Stem cells, yes.
Like stem cell research and things like that, yes, to help, they use that kind of stuff to help fight diseases and things, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. So the photography company I know is probably related to your family, right? And the business that they do. That's how you got into that, right? So, But how did you get into voice acting?
So how I started into voice acting, I've always loved anime, still do. Still watch anime, and sometimes I'll hear a voice and I'm just like, I've heard that voice from somewhere. And I'll look up the voice, and when I looked up the voice, I saw this little button called casting calls, like free work, whatnot. This is how I started with my phone, recorded through my phone, and I was listening to it, and my mom comes past my room because I had the door shut and everything, and I was listening. And she heard from the other side, and she opens my door and goes, "Can you play that again?" Because this was Harley Quinn at the time, which is a New Yorker accent. And
yep, very familiar with Harley.
Yeah. And she says, "You might have something here." So I got training and everything else. I started in 2016, and I worked my way up from there.
Oh, fantastic. So I've actually heard of a couple of different companies that train people to be voice actors. Do you mind sharing which one that you used?
I used Such a Voice. I did a year training. They gave me demo production, and they do demo reels for animation and commercial. And I was in with Michael Yurchek for a year.
Michael Yurchek, also known as the Fire Reaper in our show. Yes, very nice. Okay, I was wondering how he kind of came into the picture because I really don't know much about Michael, and that kind of helps me paint a better
He's
picture.
also the voice of Naruto
Okay.
from, well, from Naruto, but Obito.
Naruto I've heard, but the other one that you mentioned I've not heard. I mean, I used to really like anime, but it's a little bit older
Yeah.
anime just because I go a little bit further back. But
He was Obi slash Obito from Naruto.
okay, all right,
Okay.
excellent. So when you do these recordings and I mean, do you do the editing yourself or do you just record and then you just send the file and they do all the stuff behind the scenes?
My mom is actually the audio technician.
Oh, okay.
So my mom actually does all of my editing, recording. I just record the voice and she's also my director as well, script director, tells me how this is going to go, how's that going to go. And then when it's all said and done, she tells me that you're good. And then she starts editing my voices and sends them off.
Wow, that's so cool. I mean, not everybody gets a chance to have somebody that can do that in their own home.
Yeah.
And you guys work well together? Have you ever kind of, been like, I don't agree with what you're saying?
It depends on the script. I'll sometimes be combative, I will admit. And then sometimes it'll just be like a breeze, like one take, and then I'm done. And then
Okay.
she'll go back through just in case if I need another take for that script. But other than that, yeah.
So after she's done doing all the editing, after all the, agreements and disagreements, if you will, do you ever listen back to any of the stuff that you've ever done before? Like, do you like to listen to how you sound after everything is done?
I sometimes do, and sometimes just go with the flow, basically. She mainly listens through her headphones she'll make me listen to what mistakes like breathing and all this stuff, like, oh, you need to go back in because of mouth clicks or breathing noises, or this breathing position was not in the right area of the script.
Yeah, mouth clicks are the worst.
Mhm.
I hate them. I mean, there's tons of audio fixes you can do, and I use Audacity, and I know that there is an option to get rid of it, but I know it's also not just as simple as clicking a button and making it all go away. There's other things that you have to do to fine tune it, and it's not easy. It's not easy.
So from mouth clicks, and we actually found out about this through a program that I'm a part of called Voice Bunny. And they actually pay you to audition as well. And if you get the job, it's even more money. They said that take a bite of a green apple or brush your teeth.
Oh,
to get rid of mouth.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen like other people give information about how you should prepare and warm-ups for, doing voice recording. There's breathing techniques. Some people exercise. Some people actually do vocal exercises where they actually kind of sing their favorite song, but I've never heard anything for voice clicks. So that's really interesting. I might have to give that a shot next time I record something, which is
mouth clicks. Like you can do something like this. Somebody said to eat barbecue chips, which I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I need to create a spot in my booth to kind of hang the bag, so every once in a while I can just take a bite and then, well, I'm going to get rid of my mouth clicks here. Let me just grab a potato chip.
Yeah.
So with the voice acting that you're doing right now and how you got started, how did you meet Jerry Cornell and how did you get involved in Heroes of Extinction?
So I met Jerry back in 2016 after I got the training and everything. I met him through a little website called Upwork, and I did like a demo reel for him for a haunted mansion project, I think. And then he's like, well, that voice doesn't fit you, but we'll find other projects in the future. And then I think it was 2018, he said, I finally found a project for you. It's a teenager girl who is very snotty, bully type of character and always stuck to her phone, named Christy from Dark Park.
Ah, okay.
So I'm also the voice for Christy in Dark Park and a few other characters. I am the little kid in Dark Park, and I am the robotic game for the Dark Park series. And that's how I got started into Heroes of Extinction, because he heard the robotic voice and said, well, would you be able to do S.C.I.O? And I'm like, what's S.C.I.O? And I'm like, he goes, it's a type of orb, communicable orb. It gives information. I'm like, we'll try it. So I tried it in the robotic voice, and that's how I landed the role for S.C.I.O, and that's how I met Jerry.
Okay. And I've obviously heard you as S.C.I.O, and it sounds great. I mean, it sounds almost like you're speaking to an artificial intelligence, kind of like Google or Amazon Echo. I don't want to say her name because she might even hear me in the other room.
Yeah.
So when you do the voice, and we're gonna hear a little bit of that in a minute here, but when you do the voice, you just kind of speak softly, but I always feel like you actually sound like you're speaking through some kind of synthesizer or something, but it's just your voice, right?
So the way I got that voice is I play a lot of video games. Boy, do I play a lot of video games.
What do you think I was doing before this interview started? I was playing Subnautica on my Xbox.
I was playing Fallout 76 on my
All right.
PlayStation 5.
There you go. All right.
And I would always hear the robotic voices, and I'm like, well, maybe I can try this. And then I slowly turn into this. And then sometimes I actually confused, this is pretty funny, I actually confused somebody online. I said, okay, playing Baby Shark on Spotify playlists. I sounded like Alexa. And he goes, no, cancel. I'm like, just kidding.
And then pretty soon, Baby Shark, do Baby Shark, do.
And then that's how I got S.C.I.O. I just worked my way up because I've watched cartoons, played video games, and heard the robotic voice, and I've heard anime, like robotic anime, and I'm like, well, maybe if I can do this. So I did it for such a long time to the point that I had it stuck with me.
It's worked fantastic, and I can't wait for everybody to hear it. So let's go ahead and lead into that next. We have a clip that's going to be played as part of this interview, and it's an interaction between S.C.I.O, the character that you play, or the AI, I guess, that you play, the orb, they're talking to Gabriel, who is the main character, I think, of the show. Can you kind of set up the scene a little bit and just kind of tell us what is happening between this interaction and what we're going to hear?
So S.C.I.O basically tells him he's getting very weak, as I'll put that. But she puts it very blunt, saying, well, your powers are degenerating, so like going worse and worse and worse, to the point that she basically says, you're getting old. You're just getting old.
Nobody likes to hear that.
Yeah, and we have to find a replacement soon, or else it'll get worse and worse and worse and worse as you continue.
All right. That is one heck of a setup. I mean, it's one thing to be told that you're getting old. It's another thing to say, yeah, we're going to have to replace you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for setting that up. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
He stands and stretches, again groaning from the strain. He touches his left temple.
Good morning, Gabriel. It's a bit early to be connecting with you. Is everything all right?
My body. Something's wrong.
Our apologies, but you'll need to be more specific with your query.
Seriously? I thought you were supposed to be some sort of supergalactic intelligence community. How is it that you've been linked to my brain for the past 30 years and you still can't figure out what I'm thinking?
Although we are a vast well of information seekers, we are unable to infer meaning from non-verbalized cognitive expressions.
I know.
Gabriel walks to his bathroom and stands in front of the mirror. He scrubs his jaw with his hand. His dirty blonde hair is sticking up in all directions, and his dark brown eyes look tired.
Apparently, sarcasm isn't your strong suit either.
You're displeased.
I'm sorry, S.C.I.O, it's not you. I'm just in a bad mood. I feel like roadkill. My neck and shoulders and hell, every other muscle in my damn body is screaming at me right now. Not to mention it feels like there's a knife in my lower back.
There is no implement residing anywhere in your body at the moment. Retina scan of the area which you have acquired reveals a spinal disc herniation L5, resultant from cumulative physical exertion and punishment, incurred primarily during True Strike transformation. Although the lack of orbital fluidity in your recreational golf swing has intensified the damage.
Okay, so that was Jacquelyn as S.C.I.O interacting with Gabriel. That was awesome. Everybody give a round of applause. Yay! Yeah, right. Can they give round of applause? If you guys could see it, yes, I am literally clapping with my hands in a circle. A round of applause for those of you who are old enough to get that. All right, so Gabriel, also known as True Strike, is a superhero, obviously, and there are quite a few of them in the show. Do you like to watch, or I don't know, is there any other audio? I think we're kind of unique in the sense that we're creating an audio show for superheroes, but there's so many things about superheroes out there. Do you have any sort of shows or movies that you like to watch that are favorites of yours?
I've always been into the Teen Titans. I've always been into the gothic side of DC Comics. I love Batman. Villains, too, which would be Catwoman, Harley Quinn, the Joker, all those type of superheroes / villains I'm always into.
We love to hear the Joker. I can't do his voice as good anymore, but Mark Hamill is definitely one of my heroes when it comes to voice acting. He's done so much stuff, and just amazing how crazy he can sound with his voice. I love it. So sounds like the dark side of DC is kind of your forte, so to speak, huh?
Yes.
In the show that we've done, you've I'm pretty sure you've been a part of every episode, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And we've done, it's a lot of reading. I mean, you come down to it. I mean, not as much as 10,000 words maybe for this particular show or project, but it's still a lot. So we do a lot of table reads, and we talk in Zoom calls, and we have little fun moments in our little powwows right before everything starts. Do you have any sort of memories from those? Because I think we're all done with the reads at this point. We're just kind of in post-production, if you will. Do you have any sort of favorite moments or things that kind of pop into your mind about a specific read that you're like, oh my God, remember the time when ... So
the one where we actually started to get together, and it's the one where the clip actually is going to be played, is when S.C.I.O always says to Gabriel, "You're getting old. You're just getting old. You need to find somebody."
You are experiencing a gradual cellular degeneration throughout all aspects of your body, its functions, and overall abilities, including your enhanced sensory, gross motor, and teleportation. Evidence suggests it is a natural process with your species, and therefore not unprecedented or surprising.
S.C.I.O, speak plainly. What the hell are you saying?
You're getting old.
I always remember Peter always be like, "I'm not getting old," or he would make some comment about that, and that was always the one that would always crack me up the most. Every time we would get to somewhere like that, he would always have a smile on his face or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, S.C.I.O is one of those entities that just has a way of telling it coldly, but at the same time you listen to it and it's like, wow, this has no heart. There's no feeling, and it's like it doesn't care who they burn, and it's always in Peter's ear, obviously. So it's funny to listen because you know that she's just being honest, but at the same time, it's kind of hurtful for Peter to hear certain things about what's going on with an action scene, or like, you're pretty much screwed in this battle, or, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So do you have any future projects that might be coming up? Anything else that you might want to talk about in the future that you might be working on?
Well, due to an NDA, I cannot share anything, but outside of that, I have actually my own interview show myself named Voicing Your Talent. I have Extinguished Worlds and Heroes of Extinction, obviously.
Right. I have actually listened to all the voicing your talents, because when I was introduced to Jerry and I learned about what the site was, that was one of the first things that I went to, because I was still trying to learn about what I needed to do to be a voice actor and voiceover artist and things like that. And it was very, very, very helpful. So thanks for being a part of that, because it's everything combined, meeting the friends that introduced me to Jerry, that brought me to Theme Parkology to listen to those recordings, and up to this interview has been a help. So thanks for being a part of that, and, giving your opinion on and advice on what it takes, because you're obviously successful.
Yeah.
Don't be modest. Come on. Yeah, it's worked, right? It's worked. So is there anything that you, wanted to plug? Do you have like a website or anything that you wanted to, tell everybody that you are on, if in case they want to be like, oh, I think I could use her for something. Where should they go?
I do actually have a website and an Instagram. My website is www.blessedwithavoice.com, and my Facebook is Blessed with a Voice. I didn't know I had a Facebook till this very moment. I keep forgetting that. Blessed with a Voice, and my Instagram is blessed.with.a.voice.
Okay. Thank you for enunciating that. I'm sure everybody's going to appreciate that. All right. Well, that's about all we have for today. I'd like to thank Jacquelyn Liz again for being our guest on today's show. Jacquelyn, it's been a genuine pleasure speaking to you.
And thank you for having me on your show. It was a blessing to be on here.
Thank you so much. That is very kind of you to say. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you again on another episode of the Lowdown at the Down Low. Take care.
All great stories begin with adventurous ideas.